A huge bank holiday crowd welcomed the stars from the Dunlop MSA British Touring Car Championship to superfast Thruxton for rounds 7, 8 and 9 of this year's thrilling BTCC. With its long sweeping corners and speeds close to 150 miles an hour, Thruxton is the fastest circuit on the calendar. It's a real favourite with all the drivers who benefit from the special Dunlop hard compound tyres designed specially to cope with the extra demands. The season's opening 6 races had produced no fewer than 5 different winners, with Andrew Jordan and Jason Plato tied at the top of the points table. And it was defending champ Jordan who took pole position for the day's opening race, setting a new qualifying lap record in the process. Behind him, Matt Neal and Gordon Shedden made it an all-Honda top 3 in their new Civic Tourers. Matt Jackson and rookie Tom Ingram lined up an impressive 4th and 5th, with Plato back in 6th. As the red lights went out, Jordan made his getaway, while the fast-starting Ford of Matt Jackson out-fumbled the 2 Tourers to grab 2nd. The feisty Jackson then briefly challenged Jordan for the lead, but by mid-distance was in full defensive mood, with Neal and Shedden hot on his heels. After a couple of attacks, the 2 Tourers were through, but they could do nothing to stop a delighted Jordan score his 3rd victory of the year, and his first ever at Thruxton. Despite falling back, Jackson came home in 4th ahead of a great battle which saw Rob Collard's BMW fending off 3 former champs, Plato, Alain Menu and Colin Turkington, to claim a hard-fought 5th. Race 2 saw Jordan again make a clean getaway from pole position, but behind, Shedden had other ideas. He tried to dive bomb Jordan at the complex on the opening lap, running wide, and in the melee, handing 2nd place to Collard's BMW. The recovering Shedden, though, was still in fighting mood, first challenging and passing the opportunist Collard for 2nd, and then putting the pressure on the leader as the top 2 drew clear. Jordan defended resolutely, but eventually his on-the-limit Honda hatchback got slightly out of shape at the fearsomely fast Church corner, and Shedden took full advantage to draft past into the lead. Jordan fought back, but the race was red flagged 3 laps early following a massive accident between Rob Austin's Audi and Nick Foster's BMW. Thankfully, neither driver was injured in what was a dramatic incident. So it was Shedden who took maximum points from Jordan, and an overjoyed Collard taking his first podium of the year on what's his home track. With the top 10 finishers reversed for a predictably dramatic 3rd race, the grid had an unfamiliar look to it. As they lined up, it was the Ford of Fabrizio Giovanardi and the Vauxhall of Jack Goff, which were on the front row, with Adam Morgan's new Mercedes and Plato's MG on row 2. It was Turkington from 5th, though, who made a lightning getaway, driving around the outside to grab 2nd spot on the sprint away from the lights. Behind, Collard tapped Morgan into a spin, and the sliding Mercedes clipped an innocent Plato, breaking the MG suspension on the spot. While those behind were sorting themselves out, Turkington wasted no time slipping past Giovanardi for the lead, and the BMW started edging away. His progress was briefly interrupted by the intervention of the safety car when Simon Belcher spectacularly rolled his Toyota Avensis over the barriers at Church. Again, the driver escaped unharmed. After the restart, Turkington quickly re-established himself at the front, with Jackson's Ford now in a safe 2nd. But while the first 2 drew away, there was plenty more action behind. Collard and Neal collided at the complex, taking both off, thus leaving Giovanardi to fend off Jordan, Shedden and Goff for 3rd. An untroubled Turkington sailed home to score his 2nd win of the year from Jackson and Giovanardi, just fending off the chasing pack to take the first podium of his BTCC return. As the dust settled, Louise Goodman caught up with Matt Jackson.
So, Matt, any race weekend that ends up with the 2nd position has got to be a good one, hasn't it?
It has, yeah. Overall, it's been fantastic. You know, we had a great qualifying to be P4. Was amazing, and obviously Thruxton is it's such a tight circuit in the racing. It's the right end of the grid to be, and you know, it meant that we were off to a good start this morning. Obviously, it proved in the races that the Hondas were the benchmark. They seemed to be able to keep the cars on for the good 16 laps. We struggled a little bit, but we've been chipping away all day, and obviously the 3rd race, we made some steps forward. So yeah, very, very happy.
Off to Alton Park next. A little bit of a break before we get there, but do you expecting the Hondas to be the cars to beat again when we get to Alton?
The Hondas have won the championship how many times? They're not going to lose it now. They are the car. That's a fact. And obviously Andrew looks like he's on fire. He needs to slow down. But no, I mean, they are definitely the benchmark, and I'm sure the MGs will show their form back at Alton as well with Jason. So, you know, I feel quite confident we're in the mix, and hopefully we can, you know, ride the good form into Alton.
What kind of circuit is Alton Park for the teams, for the drivers, but for the fans as well?
I think Alton Park is one of the best circuits in the UK. You know, it's an amazing place that sort of hasn't sort of moved on. It's still as it was, and it's absolutely, you know, as the spectators can get right close to the banks and the cars, you know, there's always a massive turnout. You know, the fans are great in that part of the UK, and yeah, I'm sure it'll be an exciting weekend.
So one of the tracks that all of the drivers enjoy visiting? Absolutely,
yeah. It's a proper driver's circuit. You know, it's going to be very, very close. There'll be lots of door mirrors getting knocked off and lots of paint swapping. So yeah, no, definitely a good weekend.
See you there.
See you there. Bye.